I'm sharing with you things that I wish someone told me before I moved to Dubai. Don't pack your bags until you've watched this video first, because some people seem to think Dubai is some dream lifestyle, but the reality is you can't actually compare what you see on social media to someone who's living here full time. There are things that you just simply would not know until you've actually lived here yourself, like some of the strict rules that are in place. So I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and give you realistic facts from someone who's done it and is still doing it now. So let's start off with something great, and it's also one of the reasons why I personally moved here. And this is an absolute game changer, which is that we have no income tax here. Now, simply this means that whatever your gross paycheck is, that is the exact amount that is going to enter your bank account. There's no deduction that will be taken away to go to the government for taxes. Now, I don't know about other countries, but coming from the UK, I was used to paying a lot of income tax over there. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of people are attracted to the UAE, because who really wants to be sending a load of their hard-earned money to the government? Now, safety is one of the biggest perks of living here, and I'll tell you why it stands out globally, because Dubai is one of the safest places you can live in the world. And I can tell you that confidently, especially as a woman as well, because this is probably the first time in my life that I've ever felt this safe. If I want to go out at 2 o'clock in the morning, I feel completely fine. I feel safe. And you'll even notice in the middle of the night, you will see families outside with children as well. It is perfectly normal and it's safe to do so. You don't have to worry about valuables as well. Like, it really is a normal thing for you to go to a restaurant and place your bag or your phone on the table just so you can reserve that table. Come back knowing that they will definitely be there. And something that once actually happened to me, I left a pair of high-end sunglasses in the back of a taxi, and hours later I realised, made a few phone calls, and I managed to get them back. Yeah, the taxi driver actually delivered them straight to my house. Now, if I was in the UK, absolutely no chance of that happening. Those would be long gone. We just generally have low crime rate here. You don't see fights happening in the street. There's nothing like gang crime going on here. So that's also good if you are raising a family here. If you've got young kids, you can easily let them go out without having to be worried. Now, one of my favourite pros about living here, and you actually get pretty used to it as well, is the convenience. There's a couple of apps like Noon and Kareem, they're both very popular ones, where you can pretty much order anything and it will arrive in about 15 to 20 minutes. The other thing is the shopping malls. You don't have to worry about it being Sunday evening and, is stuff going to close as well. Monday through till Sunday, they are literally open every day up until midnight. So you do kind of get used to having everything on demand. Now, it is no secret that Dubai has amazing weather all year round. Even in the winter, we do have a sunny, hot climate, which is lovely. And we do, of course, have the infamous Dubai lifestyle. Of course, it is good. If it's your day off and you want to go and spend it at a beach club or having a pool day, you can do that here. Or let's say if it's a friend's birthday and you want to rent a yacht for the day, you can do that here. Yeah, we've easily got access to this. If I was in the UK, I cannot go out and enjoy a yacht day. Here, I've easily got access to that. And of course, Dubai is renowned for luxury as well. You really have got endless fine dining options. If you want to go to like a bougie food spot, you've definitely got that here. And even high-end shopping is absolutely excellent for that. There's a big party scene, and you really are surrounded by supercars every single day. And another brilliant thing that drives people to Dubai is the opportunity to network out here, because Dubai really is a thriving business centre. I mean, over 90% of people living here are expats, and you will find people from all sorts of different cultures around the world, which is amazing because everyone's embracing each other's culture. And when it comes to networking, you will find that on a daily basis, you could be bumping into very successful people, entrepreneurs, millionaires, high net worth individuals, and it's completely normal as well. And the other thing is, there's a lot of networking events here as well. So, for example, I know the crypto scene is quite big out here. There's a lot of traders as well, and there's quite a few crypto events that always happen every year. You could literally go to just one of these events and meet a whole network of people who could potentially open even more doors for you. For me personally, I've been to real estate events where I can network and it helps you down the line with business where you wouldn't even expect it. What is it they say? Your network is your net worth. So, Dubai really is the best place if you're looking to expand your circle. And I'm not really sure if there's anywhere else in the world that offers this on the level that Dubai does. Now, as amazing as this all sounds, you do need to remember that Dubai is not cheap. So, please do not let social media make you think that you're going to move here and all of a sudden you're driving a Rolls Royce, okay? Because I'll tell you now, the people who are driving flashy cars, yeah, if someone's in a Lambo or a Ferrari, that is most likely because they've either rented the car or they own a car rental business themselves. So please do not think that you're going to move to Dubai and all of a sudden you're living the high life driving a flashy car, because Dubai is very expensive, and that is why it's crucial for you to have a job as well. And here's the truth about finding a job in Dubai, so make sure you don't skip this part because getting a job out here is not easy. Now, with the population increasing, this means that the competition is going up. And it's already high to begin with. I even know some people who moved here with their partner, and their partner had a job already, but they didn't, and they've spent over a year having to depend on their partner's earnings while they were still trying to secure their own job. So please do not just think I'm going to move to Dubai and then figure it out once I'm there, because it will be very challenging to find a job. So please make sure that you've got something secure and in place prior to you moving here. Now, just to give you some advice based on what I done, so I actually had my interview, my job offer, and the job accepted before I moved here, and it was pretty much all done over Zoom calls because of LinkedIn. So what I would advise is set your LinkedIn profile so that it even shows you're open to work in Dubai. That way recruiters will have more access to you as well, and they might even reach out to you. And I would start adding and connecting with people who you can see are in your industry or in your field of work but based in Dubai, because even by connecting with those people, you'll start to get more access and become closer to the recruiters who are even going to reach out to you themselves to get you an interview. And I do often get people from back home asking me about this. I've even helped other people get jobs as well. So if you would like advice with getting a job or anything related to that, just drop me a comment below because I'm happy to help wherever I can. Now, the reason why it's so important to get a job out here is because Dubai, as I mentioned, is very expensive. Okay, for example, let's talk about the actual living costs, the biggest one being your rent. And as I'm in real estate, I can give you some better insights into this as well. So currently, the demand is very high, and it's been like this pretty much for the past 12 months. The demand is literally like this, just going up in a straight line, and that means that the cost of the supply is also going up as well. To give you an example, if you was going to rent a one-bedroom apartment and take out a new contract for the whole year, if we was to look at an area such as downtown Dubai, which is where the Dubai Mall is, that is on average going to cost you 130,000 dirhams a year. And if we compare that to a cheaper area, let's say a very popular community for expats as well, Jumeirah Village Circle, which is known as JVC, the average one bed would cost you there for the year about 70,000 dirhams. The prices are pretty much bang in line now with the cost of even living somewhere like London. Remember, this is just the price of your rent, which is going to your landlord as well. This does not include any of your bills for your air conditioning, water, gas, whatever it is. And we haven't even touched on to things like your grocery costs, lifestyle, fines. I'll talk about that in a moment as well. So please, guys, keep in mind that the cost of living out here is expensive. Do not believe anyone trying to sell you a dream on the internet that you can move to Dubai and live a comfortable lifestyle for $1,000 or $2,000 even a month. No, you really cannot. Now, a cost of living shocker that you're probably not prepared for is fines. Yay! So, I've seen it and heard it so many times. You can literally get fined on the roads of Dubai for pretty much anything. Now, if you're driving anywhere in Dubai, not only are there speed cameras, but there's just extra cameras in general. And the other problem is that they come in all different shapes and sizes as well. So it's not even like they're always easy to spot. Cost of the fines as well. Let's say if one day you haven't paid for your parking, that could be like a 300 dirham fine. Yeah, or if you're caught speeding, you're looking at probably minimum 1,000 dirhams. It could even go up to like 5,000 dirhams per fine. What they'll do here is link your car's registration plate to your mobile number. So you could be driving and all of a sudden you get a text message from Dubai police saying you've just got a fine of 500 dirhams because of lane discipline. And I even know more than one person who has come here to Dubai and within a month they've actually racked up like 20,000 dirhams worth of fines, which is just absolutely ridiculous. So you might think it's great that we're not paying any income tax here, but honestly, I feel like you're just paying it back to them in fines instead. And you really do need to have transport out here because the roads are big. Like, this place is not designed and built for you to be walking down the road, especially in a hot country with the sun beaming down on you. And if you are going to rent a car, just to give you an example of how much it would cost you. So what a lot of people do, they come here and let's say if you wanted to get like the cheapest monthly option, for example, real estate agents do when they first move here, is they'll rent the cheapest car per month, which is typically the Nissan Sunny. Okay, that is the cheapest car and it will cost you on average about 1,600 dirhams a month to take that out on rent. Obviously, if you want to go for something bigger, more fancier, it's going to cost you even more. You pretty much do need to have either a car that you've bought or a car rental, and the other methods of transport would either be taking a taxi or the Dubai metro system. So with the metro, that's pretty much like your subway or your train or your tube back home. I'm just going to give you an example cost of this. So let's say if you wanted to get from one end of Dubai, let's say downtown, and you wanted to go to south of Dubai where the marina is. Now, if you're in a taxi, on average, this is going to cost you about 80, 90 dirhams just for one way, yeah? And if you compare this to the metro, it will cost you about 7 dirhams. Now, even though that is a huge difference, the thing is with the metro is that it's probably going to be crowded. There's also a lot of walking involved when you're using the metro as well, and typically it does take longer. But having said that, getting a taxi or driving is not always going to be the quickest option because, of course, like I've mentioned, the population is going up, and with that it does mean that the traffic is getting worse as well, especially in the high season months like over winter. And that actually just brings me to mention this because this is something that I always heard about and I never realised how much it affects you until you actually experience it, and that is the weather in the summer months. So let's say from June through till August, it actually gets to over 50 degrees Celsius. And yes, I have said that completely correctly. Some days it's even probably more as well. Even if you was to step out onto your balcony for a minute to hang up some clothes to dry, you will literally feel the burning heat. I was pretty much avoiding leaving my house until it was at least like 5 p.m. And you'll even see, if you're walking down the road, people who are like walking right at the side next to the buildings, just trying to get in any little bit of shade they can. And this really made me realise why so many people tend to leave Dubai. And it's something that you'll notice with your work as well, because I did notice that I had quite a lot of clients, maybe like around May, June time, who were saying to me they were going to be flying out and travelling soon and wouldn't actually be returning to Dubai until about September, October time. And this is completely normal as well. So just bear that in mind that during the summer, there isn't really much to do because it is so hot. Now, there are some strict laws out here as well, which could probably surprise you, as it definitely did for me. And one of those is that the social media is heavily regulated out here, and just what sort of image you're giving to the rest of the world of Dubai. If you're someone who is heavily opinionated, you cannot be tweeting or on Facebook, whatever it is, pretty much talking rubbish about this place, because if you do, you're probably going to get a phone call from Dubai police asking you to come down to the station and remove it, you know, and probably tell them that you're never going to do it again, because they do really care about Dubai's image and they just don't want it to be portrayed in any sort of negative light at all. So that is something to be very careful of. Another thing we can't actually do is make FaceTime. Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, so you cannot make FaceTime calls. I don't use FaceTime at all now, but I had to actually remember, is it even called that? So we can't just make a FaceTime video call, or let's say a WhatsApp call, even like a Snapchat audio call, you have to actually have a VPN to use these things. Now, anyone who's not too sure what a VPN is, it's a virtual private network which basically covers your IP address. So if you're coming to Dubai and you know that you are going to need to make calls to, let's say, someone in another country, or even someone who's here but you want to talk to them on WhatsApp, for example, you will need to have a VPN on your phone so that you can set your location to a different country which is not the UAE. Here's another thing that I tend to get asked quite often about as well, which is alcohol in Dubai. So alcohol is not banned, it is not illegal. This isn't, as strict as Saudi Arabia. But with alcohol, you do have to remember that this is a Muslim country, so there are different regulations in place. You cannot walk down the street, go into an off license, and just buy alcohol. That doesn't exist around here. You will not see people hanging around in the street with like a can of beer in their hands. That does not happen and it is not allowed. If the police catch you doing that, yes, you will be fined and you may potentially even be put in a jail cell. I'm not really too sure. If you wanted to just go out and buy alcohol to have in your own home, there are a few regulated outlets which sell this, but in order to buy it, you need to have what is called an alcohol license. Now, I don't personally have one myself, but what I do know is that the license lasts you about, I think for a year it's valid, and it costs about 200 or 300 dirhams to get this. And another thing to be mindful of is that there are some places that do not serve alcohol at all. Yeah, so the largest shopping mall in Dubai absolutely flooded with restaurants. There is nowhere in Dubai Mall that you can go and buy alcohol, and there's even a lot of other places in Dubai as well that will potentially say to you, sorry, we don't serve alcohol. However, of course, if you're going to somewhere like a hotel, a nightclub, beach club, anything like that, then yes, they're going to sell it to you, and anyone, even a tourist, can of course buy that. Another thing which has a strict rule here is PDA, so like public display of affection. Now, if you are seen kissing your significant other in public and the police were to catch you, you are probably going to get fined for that as well. So if you're trying to do anything that is touchy-feely with another person, you need to wait until you're behind closed doors because it is not acceptable to be doing that out in public here. And on to something else which I tend to get a lot of questions about is the dress code. Now, the truth behind this is that it's not actually as strict as people tend to think when they haven't ever been here before. Again, this is a Muslim country. We do need to be respectful of the rules here, of course. So let's say if you're somewhere like in a shopping mall, yes, you can be wearing, a little t-shirt or like a vest top. You can have your legs out from the knee below. It does of course still need to be appropriate. You cannot do something which is going to cause you to get in trouble. Let's say if you're on your way to a beach club, please remember, this is not Ibiza, this is not Marbella, whatever, okay? You cannot be sat in your taxi or walking down the street wearing your bikini or wearing your beach outfit like that. You do need to be covered up and wait until you are actually at the beach club, wait until you're at the pool. You cannot be walking around the street where your body is half exposed like that. I do know a lot of tourists who tend to come over here and they want to take a little trip to the Abu Dhabi Grand Mosque because it is absolutely stunning to visit, but you do need to be mindful that if you're going to visit that place, yes, you do need to be fully covered up. So for ladies, you will need to have your hair covered and wearing a gown which covers your whole body with only like your hands and your shoes on show. You can't even have your forearms out if you're going there. For men, I think you're allowed to be wearing shorts which are basically like 3/4 ones, so like just below your knee. So just be, mindful and respectful that if you are going to visit any of the holy places here, that you will of course be covered up properly as well. And I just wanted to touch as well on the whole thing about getting a visa and a passport out here. Now, if you think that you're going to come to Dubai, stay here for a few years' time in hope that you're going to get offered a UAE passport, that will not happen. They do not give out passports like that. The absolute closest thing you're going to get is the 10-year golden visa. But there are rules for eligibility, such as one of them could be if you're someone who's invested in a property over a certain value. There's a few other reasons you could be eligible for it as well. But if one of your reasons of considering moving to Dubai is because you think you're going to get the UAE passport. It is just not going to happen. So get that out of your head. Another thing that people don't really like about Dubai is that they're always changing the rules. And these are rules pretty much to do with everything. So don't just take advice from someone in your home country who moved like a year ago. Make sure you go onto your own government's websites, do all of the checks you need to do to make sure that when you arrive here, you're going to be fully legal. So, is it worth moving to Dubai? Would I recommend it? Should you do it? Well, it completely depends on the kind of person you are because, again, I think Dubai is mainly suited for professionals, entrepreneurs, people who have maybe got a successful business and they want to expand it to Dubai. These are the kind of people who are going to enjoy working here. It's not the kind of place that you can just move to and figure it out once you're here. So, just make sure that you've got everything in place before you do the move. So, drop your questions below. If there's anything you're not too sure of, or if you want some more information or any more advice, just let me know. I'm more than happy to try and help as much as I can. And if you're someone who's interested in doing real estate out here as well, and you want to know how to make it a success, then do let me know. I can even make another video on that as well. So thank you for watching, and let me know if you're planning to move to Dubai as well.